Hey everybody, Rob here. It's time for a few new malicious compliance stories. First one, you know what? Call the cops. Let's jump right in. Join the KCC Discord. We've got a giveaway going there now that ends on Saturday. Link in the description below, and if you haven't already, consider subscribing for more daily Reddit stories. I live in a completely unsoundproofed flat with my wife and kid. We sadly discovered it after moving in because the neighbors weren't there when we visited. Shit happens. As every occupant was aware of it and we all had small kids, we agreed upon having 3 rules. Noise kept to a minimum between 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. on weekends. Same goes starting from 8 p.m. to 7 a.m. all days. Warn at least the day prior if you plan a party. Doesn't mean total silence at all, just not using tools or blasting music or talking way above normal volume, etc. It went quite okay for 2.5 years, but then the above us neighbors moved. They got replaced by a father in his mid-40s and his son about 25 years old. After welcoming them, we warned about the sound issue and the rules to help everyone have quiet time. They said okay, and thanks for the warning. Few days goes and the dad bring over his girlfriend. He's divorced. They banged all night. Was making me laugh. But around 1 a.m. that lady started singing. So I went upstairs for a very awkward conversation. I just told the out of breath sir that again, the building had no soundproofing and that singing at 1 a.m. was a bit too much after that long evening and we would really like to sleep now. He went red as possible and we exchanged few words, just saying nobody's mad, but that the sound issue is very real. After that, it was okay. But as he realized how much that issue was real, he started going to his girlfriend's place on the weekend, and his sons started bringing friends over more frequently. We learned he has not 1, but 3 sons. So 2 of them aren't supposed to live with him regularly. Anyway, as they invited friends over, it was always in party mode, no respect at all for the rules. I went upstairs approximately 10 times in the few months because we were fed up being obliged to sleep with earplugs and having our kids' naps ruined. I finally decided to talk about this to their father. He was not happy about his sons and told me he'll talk to them, but also was a bit discouraged and tried to tell me, if necessary, call the cops. I wasn't willing to do so because I'm more about peaceful solutions and told him that it won't help keep cool relations in the building. First lockdown came to my country. All neighbors decided to flee elsewhere. We had the building for ourselves. That was a great help for our nerves and sleep. We rediscovered what it was to live without noise. End of lockdown, few incidents, but enough to make my wife and I so mad at those kids that we weren't talking anymore but screaming at them. Then one of them told me, you know what, call the cops. I didn't do it that time as they shut their noise afterwards. Second lockdown started about 2 weeks ago. No neighbors moved that time except for their dad. As soon as he left, we heard more noises than average above us, but not enough to trigger us at first. The second day, we realized there were at least 5 young adults in that flat, and they started partying. Not loud music, but music anyway, talking loud to each other from both ends of the flat, clanging chairs, slamming doors, until 1 or 2 a.m. each night. We hope they'll leave soon or at least calm down, but not at all, and no sign of the dad. 10 days in, our cup was more than full. We went upstairs to again tell them to stop making so much noise and that it was the last warning. The day after that, same story. I was furious. I screamed at them to shut their music right now, 11 p.m., and that their friends had to leave by tomorrow or I'll make sure to call the cops. Oh, just call the cops. Nobody's moving. We live together as co-renters. Oh, really? I called the cops. Lockdown is in effect. You can be with family, sure, but not with friends like that. and knowing the building's landlord, I was sure their situation wasn't official at all. Cops came, told them the brothers could stay, but the friends had to go back to their place. They gave no fine for this time, but they had to make sure I would not have to call them again. They told me to not go see the neighbors if it happens again, but directly call them back. The next morning, we also decided to call the landlord to explain the situation. No father in sight for 10+ days, at least 3 unknown persons living there with 2 family members. Lot of noise every day and nights, refusing to make any effort and claiming to be co-renters. Landlord wasn't happy, told me I was right to call the cops and to warn him about the rent situation. He told me he'll call their father right away. Same day, late afternoon, I started to hear some movements above. People running left and right. Just before dark, I was pleased to see those 5 young adults with their luggage exiting the building and going toward the train station. Cherry on the cake, I saw one of them giving the finger behind him in the building's direction. I laughed so hard. Calm night with a smile on our faces. OP mentioned in a comment that now that the above neighbors were gone, they could now hear the below neighbors and might have another story in a few days. Stories like these definitely make me not miss apartment living. On to our next story. May I suck your succulent? Let's jump right in. So I worked for this torturous company that was killing me slowly. Sort of like a Venus flytrap, but worse. The company gave out demerit points for rules that were broken. For instance, if you forgot to put a cover on your coffee mug, 2 demerit points. If you forgot your gate card, 1 demerit. If you exceeded 5, you attended an hour-long video explaining the company's demerit system while sitting next to a f***er from HR. Demerits were erased every year on your hiring date, giving you back your squeaky clean slate. No doubt these rules were originally intended for the penal system, aptly named penal. Let's say you were getting 6 months of weekly allergy shots. You would be required to bring in individual doctor's notes, 1 per visit. I made the horrific mistake of thinking my doc could write 1 note stating Monty will be receiving 6 months of treatment starting on September 8th, once weekly, saving the embarrassment of asking for a note at every visit like an a-hole. 3 demerits for breaking the doctor's note rule. Newt was a dumb old thing who was reluctantly placed in HR as a last resort. Newt collected medical notes and kept track of demerits, earning him the name Demerit Dong. Dong had it out for me ever since I came up with his nickname, but he hated me more for dodging demerits and pushing the envelope as far up his butt crack as possible. The only thing that pleased Dong more than demerits was his nutty office plant collection. Dong would tell you all about his beloved juniper bonsai as he made out with a pot of brown-eyed Susans. Monday, I hand Dong my doctor's note, 6 months of allergy shots starting September 8th, once weekly. He accepted the note and went back to massaging his spider plant. The very next week, Dong notifies me I have 3 demerits. WTF? I storm into Dong's office. He was tending to his mini cactus trio. I wave a copy of my note. The bastard opens the rulebook and points to a line stating that an individual note must be presented for each medical visit. Dong finally got me, and that was the end of that. Or was it? Dong asked me what I was allergic to. He chuckles, gets up, and starts fingering his fern. I know damn well he reads every note in my file. For this very reason, I always insert a strange medical condition or affliction on every single note. It was just a little tidbit of satisfaction against the dickety dong. Pica was my latest affliction. Pica is an abnormal desire to eat substances not normally eaten, such as dirt, chalk, or ash. Fast forward, I get a promotion. However, due to lack of office space during renovations, I get to share a temporary space with Dong and all his plant children for the next 9 cozy months. no options, no other place to move, and I was ready. Dong's day would start by finding strategically placed spoons in the dirt of random potted plants. I would say things to Dong like, "Man, I would like to take a suck of that succulent. I have a great recipe for that juniper bonsai. Is that air plant salt-free? Watching my intake?" Some days I would ask him these questions through a dirt-stained upper lip. Finale, although it was easy, I got Dong to admit he could have cleared my demerits by resubmitting paperwork back to HR, but Dong chose not to do so. Instead, he told me to go prove it. Sounds easy enough. I simply explained to the head of HR, Newt was a great office mate, but I had allergies and a special condition aggravated by any plant that required dirt. All of my medical notes were on file to prove it. Due to the fact that all of HR hated Dong too, it took all of 5 minutes. And so the story ends. Dong had to take all his plant babies home until after the move that turned out to be over a year. Dong put up a weak fight, accused me of being a plant molester. I told Dong to go prove it. Demerit point systems, they're simply designed just to provide documentation and justify firing employees. They're not designed to make sense, just to make a paper trail. 3 demerits and you'll receive a citation. 5 citations and you're looking at a violation. 4 of those and you'll receive a verbal warning. Keep it up and you're looking at a written warning. I'd like to thank both OPs for posting their stories to the Malicious Compliance subreddit. You can visit them at the links in the description below. Please go there and give them an upvote. Once again, this is Rob from Karma Comment Chameleon saying thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and share it with your friends, and we'll see you in the next one.